Hey guys, Jay here, and in this video today I want to answer a couple of dominant questions that I have heard from the feedback about my build over here, the Casquin Stun Juggernaut. So the first question is, why am I not completing wave 15? Well, chances are most of the people who asked that question, when I asked them to go to Discord and share the POE with me, chances are they either are lacking some HP, so they are dying very often, so they cannot finish it, or they simply did not have enough money to, buy all the stuff that is needed for damage, which is including the high level awakened gem and the high level skill gem itself, right? So keep in mind, this is not budget friendly kind of build. You need to pass a certain threshold in order to do certain content. If you do not have the level of gear and gems and everything that I have, you sometimes, even if you are lower level, for example, if you are in the 80s, you should be farming maps. You should be leveling up a little bit. You should be getting a little bit more gear before you can expect to enter the simulacrum and just finish the whole thing, right? So keep in mind, look at my POB, look at some of the stat. If you see some of the things that you are not having the roughly equal amount, or somewhere close, and you are finding yourself having some trouble with either damage or survivability, that is probably the case. You are just not well geared or well leveled enough to handle the content. There's nothing around it. You kind of have to get more money into the build, basically, or put a little bit more time into the build before you can actually AFK the simulacrum, like I am doing at the moment. So that is the first question. Second question: people who are having the same level of gear as I do right now, sometimes they complain that they randomly just get waves where they get one shot, or they get grind down by multiple hits, actually not even a one shot, but they just get basically destroyed by a lot of monsters, and they don't understand the reason why. So I would like to explain that particular problem. So if you see the mods on the side here, there's a random amount of modifiers, and what I would like you to take into consideration in this case is there's a weird interaction between freezing and stunning in this game. So if your character is taking a hit, that hit has some cold damage and it crit, or it has a chance to freeze and it rolls a chance to freeze. Let's just say it is a freezing hit, right? A freezing hit in this game is incapable of stunning you. So that hit, first of all, in this build, doesn't help you to trigger Casquin stun. So that is a very bad thing, first of all. And second, in terms of defense, that hit is not a stunning hit, so it doesn't trigger the effect of Blood Notch, which means you lose out on a lot of recoup, which is a big part of how you are recovering your life in fighting a simulacrum here, along with the untiring note from the Juggernaut, right? Basically, the situation where you see a lot of monsters nearby, not even a boss, but they just grind down your HP bar pretty quickly without you recovering it. That is probably the issue. So you probably will look at the mods here, and you will see something around the line of physical as extra cold, and then on top of that there's cold penetration, there is crit chance, extra crit chance, so that is basically extra freeze chance, right? And also chance to freeze, shock, and ignite, something like that. And those potentially will just basically be a very deadly situation for the character. How should I deal with it? Now that is the big question. Well, currently I am having 15% chance to extinguish enemies on hit. This is a Searing Exarch modifier on a glove. It is in the slot of previously. What I had in the previous video is going to be unnerve. Unnerve is going to give you 10% more damage, right? Which is pretty good. Not really 10% more damage, but 10% enemies take 10% increased damage. So it is not technically 10% more damage, but it is pretty close, right? So you are sacrificing that for a chance to extinguish. What is extinguish? Extinguish, let me start this wave over here and I can hover over the item. Extinguish enemy cannot inflict elemental ailments. Extinguish lasts for 4 seconds. And because we are hitting so many times, chances are enemies nearby is going to get extinguished very, very quickly, right? When they get extinguished, this is the only thing in the game that can literally prevent the enemy from dealing a freezing hit. Even if they have cold damage and they are critting, or they roll a chance to freeze, it is not considered a freezing hit if the enemy is already extinguished. So this is a super powerful tool to help you deal with the problem of like freezing and stun interaction where you do not have recoup, where you do not have cast and stun. So this is the way, the only way that is usable for like consistently dealing with the problem. Okay. Strength and intelligence. This last league is a lot more expensive. At least now it's still one divine, so it's something, right? Last league is like what, 35 divine? Well, anyway, that is going to be the second question to deal with, you know, some random situation where you just die in a simulacrum instead of like recovering to full life as you usually do, like what you are seeing on the screen here. And sometimes you will still get one shot. I still get one shot randomly in the simulacrum with this current setup. It's not different except for the extinguish. It is not different from my previous video. It is still exactly the same. I think this is a good enough state of the character, and I will leave it in this state just to use to farm the simulacrum. I will probably gradually get level 100 as well, right? So, ooh. Yo, money. Sorry for this, but I will need to take this trade. Well, anyway, let's get to the third thing that, you know, people are asking for. Huh? I think he is offline or some shit. Ah, fuck. I think he is offline or some shit. Well, anyway, the third question that I want to answer in this particular video is, how much gold are you having in a simulacrum and how do you run King's March with it? Well, the short answer is you kind of need to sacrifice a lot of things in King's March in order to run simulacrum like full time. Simulacrum is not giving you a lot of gold. It is giving you only 10k gold per simulacrum on average. And that is if you run simulacrum quickly, you can do like 4 simulacrum per hour. So 15 minutes for each run, 40k gold per hour is an absolute dog shit amount actually. So there are 2 ways to deal with it. First wave, you need to sacrifice some simulacrum time to run some like very good gold strategy. For example, you run something that gives you like 400k per hour for 1 hour, and then you can sustain for a day, right? So these are the things that you need to do. Or you can just cut back on the cost of the King's March. What I do normally right now is I only run 1 real shipment crew, first of all. So that shipment crew is going to be like a high level shipment crew, just high enough to get a regular shipment of food to a port that I like to do, which is the closest port, by the way. So 1 actual shipment, and then the other 2 shipment crew that I am having, I put only like 1 single level 1 or level 2 guy in there. Basically anyone with like the absolute lowest possible level, and also lowest wage as possible, maybe even a level 0 shipment guy, doesn't matter. The thing is, I will only send those two with like a tiny bit amount of resources to trade. The purpose of those is basically to fish for the pirate boss. The pirate boss is going to give you, first of all, a lot of gold. If you kill them, if you have them, you kill them, you have a lot of gold. Normally it's like 50k, something around that line. But also they can potentially drop power rune. I have got like a few from them already. Each of the power rune is right now 3.5 to 4 divine, depending on where you sell it. But it is very, very valuable. And so that is the way that I am using to deal with basically, the gold cost of King's March. I am also not smelting and I am also not mining at all. After I got the buildings that I want to max out in King's March to the maximum level, which is like the farm, the shipment, the disenchanter, um, things like that. Even the disenchanter, I regret getting it to level maximum right now because I don't think I need it. Uh, it's at least for this playstyle, right? So I would just have one single disenchanter, pretty low level as well, so he doesn't cost as much money. He's doing the work slower, but he's not costing as much money. You can use the high level one as well. It will disenchant faster, but if you do not put any extra gear into the disenchanting machine, it will not cost any gold. So just basically depend on how much dust you are wanting to get, basically. I am limiting it to a very limited amount. And also I remove all the miners because I technically don't even do map that much. I don't need extra like ore and bars to upgrade my town anymore, so I just remove them all. No smelting, no mining, so they do not cost any gold. For the mappers, from my experience personally, I think it is completely RNG. So if you run high tier map, I try to run high tier map with the mappers. I don't see any like significant increase in like money. So the best reward I have had from the mappers are probably a couple of random divines, and it is dropping randomly from like white to yellow map. It's not even in red map. So I am running low level mappers yet again. So I think it is just like a fitting strategy into the amount of gold that I am making doing the pure simulacrum farm. If you are having a lot more gold, obviously you should run like more gold intensive town like I do. But for me, I need to cut the cost, and that is the way that I use to cut the cost, and it works out okay, right? It's not the end of the world if you are not like running your town at the maximum capacity. I have run it for like a minimal amount of gold for a long time after I upgrade the buildings that I wanted to level 10, and it works fine. I still have like some half decent profit from it. So yeah, that is going to be the approach that I am having. But I think overall, if you want to min-max the like currency per hour or things like that, if you want to run simulacrum, I still would like recommend you to go for a good gold farming strategy. For example, like the shrine, delirium bridge, just a lot of monsters, and then a lot of like gold quantity on a map. You run a couple of maps, you gain enough gold, whatever the amount you needed to run the King's March for a day, and then you spend the rest of the time to AFK in the simulacrum. I think that's supposed to be the way, right? But if you are lazy like me, if you don't want to run maps, if you want to spend your time doing something else, then yeah, you just need to cut the cost. Basically, just consider what is the most valuable thing for you in King's March that you want to sustain. Then you focus your gold on sustaining that only, right? So yeah, that is everything I want to mention in this video. So thanks for watching. Peace.